Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week 4 edition of NFL Soundbytes, a show where we gather the pulse of NFL fans and answer the key questions on their minds each week. I'm Tom Moore, and as always, I'm joined by former 8-year NFL linebacker and now game day color analyst for the Minnesota Vikings, Pete Bursich. I got to tell you, Pete, they said the Vikings couldn't win in Carolina last Sunday with 4 starters out due to surgery. How did Minnesota thrash the defending NFC champions so thoroughly after a slow start?
Well, it's easy, defense and special teams, and whenever you can score on defense or set up scores for special teams, you're going to put yourself in a good position, to win. Offensively, I think the second half was better. Coming out of the second half in that first drive and scoring a touchdown really, really helped. But that 2-point play when it was 10-0, that I think turned everything around. So this defense has scored 2 touchdowns. They scored a safety. They've set up a punt return for a touchdown. I mean, right now, defense and special teams as a group, they're outscoring our offense, which that's how it's got to be. I mean, we talked about saying, hey, if we were 2-1 after these first 3 games, we'd be happy. Well, we're 3-0. So the defense is carrying a brunt of the work right now, and hopefully the offense will begin to gel and find an identity without all the starters. I mean, you talk about the injuries, they're more on one side of the football, and so they'll need a little bit longer, I think, to figure that out. But with a defense that's not giving up more than 15, 18, 17 points a game, you always have a chance.
You talk about the defense, you're a defensive guy. You know, with that swarming front seven and the strong coverages by the DBs, what is it that you see in Mike Zimmer's defensive scheme that's confusing quarterbacks so much to the point where they're making those critical mistakes?
I think the main thing that the defense is doing is they're not giving up the big play. And a lot of offenses and offensive coordinators do not have the patience to go and play and snap the ball 9-10 times down the field. And that was one of the things I remember when Tony Dungy was the coordinator at Minnesota, and we started playing really the Tampa 2 there here in Minnesota. That was one of the points of it was to defend the deep ball and make coordinators throw short underneath passes. And he said that they just don't have the patience for it. And so, you look at us defensively, the cornerbacks, they've all played very, very well. And the one thing that they have not allowed, be it the veterans or the rookies, is to let anyone get behind him and give up the big play. Terrence Newman did a really nice job. The Ted Ginn Jr., deep shot. That's a play that they made against San Francisco. They didn't make it against us. Trey Waynes, you may get a hitch on him, you may get a slant on him, but you're not going to get behind him. And offenses have not been able to really get the explosive passing game type plays, and they've got a penalty or 2 here, but we'll take those. It's not giving up the big ball and the deep ball. That's really what I think is mystifying or frustrating opponent offenses.